Kia team, and welcome to another DayZ Technical series about all things that make me go boom. And some that don't boom as much as they fizzle, but they probably belong in this series anyway while we're talking about it. Now, there are a number of things here in front of me that do go boom in one way or another, and there are an awful lot of ways that these things go boom. So once again, I'll highlight that I do get some of this information from other sources, from Wobo and Nitno and a variety of other places, and I'll put those links down below where necessary. But I do note that there's not been a lot of discussion online in the other content creators with this stuff since around about 1.18. Which is when some of this stuff came in or was updated. And we're now into 1.25, which is due to release today. So I'm going to cover all of these, but as a console creator, do be aware that my access to information is limited. So if you want the technical ins and outs of exactly what every bit of damage is to each of these items, I won't be able to give you that. We will be doing some experiments, and we will show some of the effectiveness of some of these things against bases, which is predominantly what you're going to be using them against. And we may even, towards the end, find a fairly useful guinea pig that we can use to demonstrate just how dangerous some of these items are. But like I said, you can go online and have a look. Specifically, Wobo covers some of the more dangerous things like the claymores, for example, or the plastic explosive. But there are a whole load of other things here. And I can tell you that it really doesn't matter in terms of personnel, because a grenade will kill you, a landmine will kill you, as will a claymore and the C4 and the explosive round. I do know that I've accidentally had a gas canister go off about my person, and that has not killed me, so that's good, I suppose. And without further ado, let's have a look, starting with yield a gas canister. Oh yes, they do. They explode. Did you know that? They do explode. You can shoot them, you can line them up with grenades, and you can blow them up, and they do explosive damage. Not nearly as much as a grenade. Like I said, I've had a gas canister go off while it was in my person, and I took some damage, but it didn't kill me. I've also been blown up by a grenade, and it killed me. I've also been blown up by a grenade tripwire, and it didn't kill me, interestingly enough, but we'll talk about that later. So yes, gas canisters do blow up. So if you're planning on raiding bases, these might come in handy as a supplement. You might find it a bit hard on the server you're on to find grenades, but you might find a lot of gas canisters. You can always line these up and set them off with grenades, and they will do damage. There's two types of grenades. This is the EGD5, so this is this one. This is the Eastern Forces grenade. It's still pretty dangerous. It's still pretty bad. They're fairly simple to operate, and I'll go through operating them shortly. But essentially, you pick it up, you unpin it. It's a grenade. It doesn't go off while it's in your hand, even if it's unpinned. You can hang on to it for a while, and then you throw it, which is double square to line up the throw, and you hold R2, and that lines up how far you're going to throw it. What we don't have in DayZ is a trajectory, so you're kind of guessing. I've killed myself with grenades trying to throw them through windows and to missed, and some of those are on record, so you can go and have a look at that. We have the 6M7 frag grenade, which is the Western Forces frag grenade, which looks like the bog standard, I guess, what you'd see in the movies, American style kind of grenade, which is, again, same deal. You unpin it, you throw it, and that's all tickety-boo. You have the flashbang grenade. Now, the flashbang grenade, while it does go bang and boom, it's designed to stun, so it's not designed to kill. Okay, so we'll go through that, and I'll subject myself to a flashbang grenade so that you see what that looks like, and I'm going to use it for demonstrating things like tripwires perhaps and stuff. Not designed to be lethal, obviously, so you might want to use that for a variety of different things. You want to capture people or something, I don't know. Anyway, we have here the landmine. Now, landmine is an interesting little sucker. It's anti-personnel. That's not to say that if it blew up next to a vehicle, it wouldn't cause damage to the vehicle. It would. Will it blow up if you drive over it in a vehicle? I do believe it will, but maybe something that we might have to try. Might have to get a gnarly old vehicle down here and run over a landmine and see what happens. But they're armed and set on the ground, and once they're set, they are active. And we'll have a look at how you make those active. Yeah, they're lethal. They are lethal. They're designed to be lethal. These are not the kind that break your legs and leave you crawling. Although, again, it depends how much armor you're wearing and that kind of thing. So, yeah, landmine. All right. We have here the claymore. Claymore is a very interesting one. So, it's a directional remote controlled mine which you set up. Now it blasts in a cone out from you. So you set it up, ideally if you're a clever person, you set it up facing away from you, so if there's any accidents it doesn't accidentally kill you. But once it is set up, it is activated by a remote detonator, and we will go through some of the pros and cons of that and some of the things you can do with remote detonators, for example. Very lethal. Again, it's designed to be lethal. It is meant to be lethal. You can use that against vehicles. You could set up a roadblock and wait for people to get there with their vehicle and attack the vehicle. Roadside explosive device. Or somewhere else where you're setting up a trap for people and you're expecting them to come in, mock base or something where you're luring them in, and then you're going to kill them. So it's really for setting up traps, that kind of thing. And this is a plastic explosive. Now, the plastic explosive is actually, this is an industrial. So the gas canister is civilian. All of these other things are obviously military. But this is actually the only civilian explosive, and it is actually incredibly powerful and very, very dangerous, and you usually find it around the quarries. So there's a variety of different quarries on Chernaris and Livonia. I don't know if there is on Sakal. I think there is. I'm pretty sure there'll be some industrial areas you can pick up this explosive. Again, it needs to be combined with a trigger device to create a powerful explosion. And again, it is remote detonated, similar to the Claymore, but we'll cover the difference with the remote detonation unit, which is something else that we will be talking about when it gets to particularly these two, which are the only two things that are operated remotely. And we'll see how that goes. Now, over here, we have these three things here, and we have these two things on the end. Now, these things here are grenades, but they are launched grenades. You can't throw them. You have to have the M79 grenade launcher to make these work, and they come in three flavors. This flavor here, with the gold tip, is the explosive grenade, which explodes on impact. So when you fire it and it hits something, it blows up. It doesn't matter how close or far away you are. If this hits something, it go boom and it make mess. Okay, I haven't really seen a lot of these in action, mainly because on the servers that I've been on, the M79s are quite rare, quite sought after, specifically for base raiding. But then you've got to get obviously all the grenades to go with it, and that can be a little bit time consuming. We then have white and red, which are the smoke grenades, and they just have a white tip and a red tip, so not a big surprise there. They just make smoke when they land, but they are a launched grenade. They do kind of go fizz, less than boom, so they land in the ground, fire them up in the air, land in the ground, and they do that. And then we have two other smoke grenades, which I'm putting in here. They cause no damage, but they are grenades, so I'm going to include them here. You've got this sort of, I think it's like brown wrapped. It looks very old school, I must say. Looks like an old stick of dynamite, but it's actually a smoke grenade, and it's pretty simple. It's again, you got an on pin, and you can use that So we'll be covering that. And then you've got the other smoke grenade, which you've probably seen a lot of, which is the M8, which is the fairly standard one. Again, you've probably seen in Hollywood movies, etc., which is the smoke grenade that is used by the Western forces. So you always, nearly always, have Western and Eastern analogous explosives, except for the fact here that you've got only one flashbang, one landmine, and one claymore. This is an industrial thing, so it doesn't absolutely matter. So these are all the things that go boom that I'm aware of. Obviously, that doesn't include blowing up petrol stations. And you can't set fire to things. Oh, how I wish we could make Molotov cocktails. They could also go boom, more like a woomph, but you can't do those either. You also can't make flammable bombs. So wouldn't it be great if you could attach a grenade to a gas canister and create a fireball? Oh, wouldn't that? But no. Quality of life improvement. Well, not quality of life, but it would be an improvement that we could bring in. Ask BI to bring in for us, please, please, please. Some kind of flame bombs, some kind of petrol bombs, gasoline bombs, etc., etc. But no, we don't have those. So these are the types of explosives, and we'll be going through some of the basic uses of these and how to make these things function very, very soon. Okay, well, let's have a look at smoke grenades. So we've got a little box in here, and we have a variety of smoke grenades. We've got the handheld type, 2 of. We've got the 1M8, and we have the EGD2, and we have the launched smoke grenades. You have the white, the red, and the black. So we're going to start with the old school looking one first and see what that looks like. So, like any of the grenades, down there, bottom left, R2 is to unpin. So we unpin it, and we hold, we double click the square to throw, and we throw it because it's already releasing. We drop it because we can't throw it for some strange reason, best known to ourselves. Can we pick this up and actually throw it, please? Ah, there we go. There we go. That's better. That's the EGD2 smoke grenade. It's a fairly white smoke, fairly clean looking smoke. It's not dirty at all. It's quite a good range on it. I don't know how far we are to the edge of the map, but it's certainly the kind of thing you're going to see from quite a distance. So the kind of thing that if you've set up some kind of a trap, or you're working on a trap or something, you've put a smoke grenade on a tripwire, someone stumbles into it, they're going to set this off. It's going to be a bit of a visual warning, obviously, that they've obviously triggered it. And it's lasting for quite a bit. It's been going for a little while. So just sit and watch and see how long it goes till it goes out. So there you go. That's that was about a couple of minutes, really, on that one. So a couple of minutes for the EGD. I have a problem throwing that for some strange reason. But obviously it starts to, unlike the live grenades, it starts to go off, that one, when it's actually in your hands. This is the 1M8. So you unplug that. Get ready to give it a toss. There it goes. What would you call that? Red smoke? Orangey smoke? It's got this weird green tinge around the end, but let's call that red, shall we? It's a fairly visible red as well. It's kind of funky. Again, good visibility. Similar effect, so it looks pretty much the same other than the color. So yeah, we'll just sit and wait and see how long it takes for this one to come through. Yeah, about the same. Couple of minutes. There's no difference other than the color. I've got another one here. I don't know if they come in different colors. So we'll try this. We'll try to unpin it before we throw it, and see if it comes in a different color. Yeah, definitely does. It's got a white one. So there's no, I don't believe there was a way of knowing. I don't believe there was any notification as to different kinds of colors. I've got a stack of grenades over here. I got some smoke grenades, I think, in here. Let's have a look. Is it in here? No. It is in here. So, trying to determine. Just says comes in many different colors. I don't see any noticeable markings. Oh, green. That one says green. And that one says... Oh, I can't see what that says. It says violet? Ah, it is violet. Yeah, so it does have different colored markings on it. So you could, for example, you had perhaps a base with multiple guarded entrances. You could set up different colored grenades in different entrances. I don't know if you can say the same about the EGD2 coming in different colors, but obviously this one comes in different colors, and it's going to last about a couple of minutes. So the other smoke grenades we have are not the thrown kind, they are the launched kind, and they're launched from the M79. And I have here, this is the white smoke, so I'm going to fire it into the back of the bunker. And it's ricocheted off, which is fine, but it set it off. It's a lovely white. Let's try the same with a lovely back. See if we can't ricochet it off in a different direction. And perhaps we can do the same with a lovely red, but in this case what we'll do is we'll send it fairly sky high in this kind of direction. That's quite a range. So you got the black smoke, very interesting. It's very, very black. You got the white smoke, which is very, very white. And look at how far that red went. That went right off the map. That is some distance. That's probably half a kilometer, I'd say. It's a good few hundred meters for absolute definite. That is quite a distance. The benefit of the M79. And it's gone off. Didn't seem to last quite as long as the hand-thrown ones, but there you go. So, hand-thrown grenades of many colors in the M8 version. You've got the M79s, which gives you the launched version, which you can fire directly, fire into a building. You can fire some heck of a distance, as we've seen. And yeah, that's smoke grenades. Okay, so let's talk about grenades. And I'm standing here facing our little bomb area, and I have my rangefinder in my hand. I'm exactly 20 meters away, so I'm going to be hurling the grenades in here and seeing if the damage reaches me. And at some point we might reduce this distance a little bit and see at which point we begin to take damage from a thrown grenade. But here we are. We have two types of grenade. We have the 6M7 frag grenade, which is like the American movie style grenade. Now, just about grenades, and any kind of grenades, and even gas canisters that you carry about your person. Grenades have a condition. This one is damaged. This one is pristine or worn. It's pristine. We've got a flashbang here, which I'm going to be throwing as well, which is also pristine. But over time, and with attacks from Zeds and various other bits and pieces, grenades can get damaged. When a grenade becomes ruined, it go bang. When a gas canister become ruined, it also go bang. I have had gas canisters blow up on me because I've been attacked by Zeds. I've also had M79 launched grenades go off on me because they become ruined. So, and I'm not the only one to say this, a perhaps piece of advice is be careful how many grenades you are carrying and where you are carrying them about your person. It's all very well for you to put things on the outside of your plate carrier, but if someone shoots you and that goes off, it's going to go off. Or if you are exposed to an explosion and it's on the outside of you, and it also goes off, you're getting multiple explosions. So just be aware when you are carrying explosive devices about your person that if they become ruined, they will go off. All right, so you've been ruined. I've been warned. So here we are, 20 meters away. Throwing grenades is pretty simple. You press R2 and you unpin it, and it's unpinned. Now, it isn't going to go off until I throw it. Throwing is double tap the square, and you hold with R2, and you throw. There you go. That's a good solid 20-meter throw. And you see I took a bit of damage. You see that? Just a tiny little bit of damage. So let us go a little bit further away, and we'll take 5 steps back. 24 meters. One more step. There we go. We're 25 meters away, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to throw exactly 25 meters, but let's give it a go. Unpin. Double tap. Throw it as far as we can. There you go. So 25 meters. So that's kind of as far as I can accurately throw. Well, as far as I can throw. So anything, let's say, closer than 25, certainly 20. I took a tiny little bit of damage, not a lot, tiny little bit of damage. But anything closer than that, you're obviously going to start facing a mounting amount of damage, and on your own head, be it. I'm obviously kitted up with a plate carrier and an armored assault helmet. If you're just wearing light clothes, there's every chance you'll take a little bit more damage. I have here the last of the grenades, which is the flashbang. Now, I don't think it's going to cause me any damage at 20 meters for an absolute start. So I think what we'll do is we'll come in a little bit closer on this one, and we're now at 19. Let's go into 15. I think we can probably do 15. That's 16. There we go, 15 meters. So let's see what happens with the oldie flashbang. This is designed to confuse, rendering capable, etc., etc. So we'll see what happens. R2, unpin, double tap square for throw it full. There we go, right against the wall. Yeah, I took quite a bit of damage, and that, wow, that really made a hole of that fence. I mean, it was quite short damage though. Did you see that? So that was a little bit of nearly not quite half damage, maybe a third damage to my person, but it has instantly recovered. So I'm assuming that is immediate shock damage, and that's the kind of thing you recover from. The amount of damage that causes the flashbang, I'm going to do a little experiment on, and I've uncovered a willing person who may be able to help me with that, or I can do it and they can help bring me back to the land of the living. But we'll have a look at that. What I am very interested about is the amount of damage that has been done to this. But I have been using this area for a little bit, so that will need repaired, and we'll have a look into that. But we'll be having a look at some base damage stats later on. I'll see you soon. Well, we have talked about the handheld and thrown frag grenades, the two types, the Western Alliance version and the Eastern version. We have talked about the two handheld and thrown smoke grenades, Western version and the Eastern version. We have talked about the handheld and thrown flashbang grenade. And we have talked about the 3 launched smoke grenades in red, white, and black. But we did not talk about this puppy down here, which is the launched explosive grenade, which is launched from the M79. So we're down here a respectable 30 meters distance from our little test rig, and we have our M79 loaded up with the weapon, with the grenade that we need. You can't tell that, but I can tell that. And we're going to have a fair old crack at this, and this weapon seems to aim a little high. It's set at 75, so you want to aim a little bit lower of center. Woo! Ooh, and that made quite a heck of a splash, didn't it? So let's check it again. Um, kicks a little high at this range, so aim low. There we go. We're totally safe at that range. Like I say, 75, so you have to adjust your aim. It's going to be traveling a little bit low because the grenade tends to fall quite a little bit. And we'll have a look in here. It's taking a little bit of damage here in the upper wall. Barbed wire is intact. Some of that wall is taking a little bit of damage. This wall looks all pretty much mostly fine. So there you are. That is the M79 launch grenade. Obviously, you can launch it closer if you like, but you know, do be prepared to suffer the aftermath. So it is entirely up to you. Obviously, splash damage has a range. I'm not 100% sure about the range on it, but let's say it's probably 15 meters. It's probably similar to the regular grenade, which is like 15-20 meters. You get a tiny little hit. So I think probably anything within 5 is probably automatically dead, and it probably kind of extends a little bit from out there. So there you go. That is the M79. There is one more grenade which is launched from the M79. We'll cover that at the end because it's not really explosive, but it is important, so we may as well cover it. But I'll show you that later. Now, I did mention it briefly when I was talking about grenades, that you can create these things, which are tripwire traps with grenades. This is a flashbang grenade, this is a smoke grenade, and this is a smoke grenade. But it could be frag grenades. It could also be other things, and we'll cover that in a minute. But for the sake of what we're talking about here, these are tripwires. How do you make tripwires? Well, you need 2 sticks, and you need some metal wire. And you can either craft a snare or you can craft a tripwire. So we'll craft the tripwire here. We're hunting for a different kind of game. And you will get yourself a tripwire, which you need to remember to pick up. And it's the same as all of these things, which is you hold R2 so you can get used to deploying it. You can find a place to put it wherever that might be, and as long as it's white you can put it on the ground. Now again, a little bit like gates, it's always important to remember that the grenade is going to appear on the left hand side. So if I dismantle it and I take it to my hands again and I choose placement and I decide to rotate it 180 degrees, then whenever I attach my grenade to it, it will be on the other side. Bing, there you go. So depending on how you want to place it depends on whether you want it grenade left or grenade right. If you're not 100% sure, you will see that there's this little red mark. This little red mark here. This little red mark on the stick denotes where forward is going to be, as it were. I mean, it doesn't really matter with grenades that much, because it's an area effect. So as long as you're in the area, you will see or you will be impacted by the effect. So if it were a frag grenade here and I tripped it, then away it would go and it would get me. I have survived grenade attacks before. At the time I was wearing an armored vest, which is probably why I'm wearing one of these. So I do know that armored vests can save you from a flat-out grenade explosion. Just one. Broke my leg, but I did live. It was a cunning trap inside a door, of course. Best place for these things, because you can hide the grenade behind the door, as it were, and you can hide the 2 sticks behind the door. So placement is entirely up to you. They do stand out a little bit outside in the open. So if you would run across these and go, well, hang on a minute, they're tripwires. So they are quite visible out in the open, but you would need to find crafty and cunning little places to put them, and I'm sure you can, and I'm sure you would. They're easily disarmed. You just walk up and you just take the grenade off. It's not There's no great surprise or shock to it. And they do have a little bit of durability. And even if you don't have them armed, they still have an effect. So it doesn't cut me, but it does. I do make a noise, and it does trip the tripwire. But you'll see it's still in pretty good condition, so I can still pick it up. And I can still deploy it, and I can keep doing that until it's ruined. And obviously, it takes a little bit of damage. And if it were an explosive device, the explosive device would obviously ruin it immediately. So we've got a few little things set up here. So this is the flashbang grenade. This is going to make a hell of a bang. And it does take a while for it to go off, the flashbang grenade, just to let you know. But there you go. We'll see that from another angle at the end of this. Not wholly effective from that perspective, compared with, for example, the fact that it helped destroy one of the panels on the base. So there you go. This tripwire is back up again. This is just a regular old smoke grenade. Again, same deal. Smoke goes off instantly. And the same with this one. We got two different smoke grenades. But my it's not my fence kit. What I want is my tripwire. There they are. They're back in my inventory. So I've got two tripwires there. So I've got the smoke's having problems. We've got black and pink, and they don't know how to mix together. Which is all terribly exciting stuff. But what else could you use a tripwire for? Well, you might have a cunning use for a tripwire or two. Let us say we had a claymore set up somewhere, and we put that claymore on the ground and we deployed it. And we might have that, for example, facing a doorway or something like that. We might have it slightly further down the hall. It might not be immediately clear, but we definitely want it triggered. Well, what we can do is we can attach the control to the tripwire. So our claymore is over there, right? Isn't it? Remote detonation. So, and same for plastic explosive, obviously. So you might have a claymore, you might want to put it in a position, you might want to put it off to the side of a doorway, you might want to put it somewhere that's a little bit more effective for whatever you need. You have the remote detonator, although you cannot use it again without the pairing device, and you have your tripwire. So you can use the tripwire to set off devices that a tripwire would otherwise set off, and that is grenades that we had, the smoke grenades. It is the flashbang grenade. It is the frag grenades, which I'm not going to show you because I don't really want to get broken legs, and it is remote detonation, and it could be the industrial C4 explosive. It could be the directional claymore. You don't have a remote detonator for a landmine. You could have an improvised explosive device, which we're going to look at some point in this episode, and we'll have a look at how you craft those and what they do. And again, they can be remotely detonated, so you could definitely have one of those devices. So yeah, tripwires. It's a very handy little device, very easy to make. Wire, 2 bits of short sticks, and away you go. Find some places to set up some nasty little traps, you devious little people. Right, so we're going to conduct a little experiment here with the flashbang grenade, which is mounted on a tripwire, which is in front of my good associate over there, Mr. C Money. There he is. He's prepared to take one for the team. So I am 15 meters away, and if you don't believe me, I shall use my rangefinder to show you that I am 15 meters away. And he is going to deliberately trip the flashbang, and we're going to see what the aftermath looks like. Take it away, Mr. Money. Ooh. It did go off. How'd you feel?
There was a little bit of a delay.
There was a little bit of a delay. You look a bit pooped. How's your
Just
health stats?
down about a third.
Right. So there you go. So still standing. No permanent damage. No lasting effects. Marvelous. Still has his underwear. A little bit cold. That's okay. You can go get clothes on. Thank you very much, Mr. Money. A big hand for Mr. Money. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Right. Well, we have talked about grenades, and we have talked about tripwire traps, and we have talked about remote detonators, such as those that you find with claymores and those that you find with explosives. But what about claymores and explosives? How do they work? What am I talking about? Well, this is a claymore. This one's in pristine condition, which is absolutely great. So when you get a claymore, it's actually it's a pack you're looking at. You can see that there's a zip on this. So there's actually a number of items in here. So this is your claymore device. Your claymore device is a sort of a slightly arced, slightly curved device with a receiver on it and a couple of little prongs for it to be mounted in the ground. And the direction of blast is on the outer side of the arc, and it follows more or less that kind of pattern that you see there, which I'm reliably informed is roughly 90 degrees. So it has a roughly 90 degrees blast. So if we wanted to get all of these walls in this blast, for example, we'd probably want to put our claymore right about there. And it's placed like all these things are placed with R2 and all the rest of it. A claymore is, you can run over the top of it. It does not go off. It is not motion sensitive. It faces where it faces, and that is that. But lo, what is this that I now have in my hand that says electrical M75 and has a red light on it? Well, this is my remote detonator. This is now on the ground, and this is the claymore, and what is in my hand is the remote detonator. And you can see that it has a red light on it, and that there is a red light on the claymore. That means that they are both active. Now, there is a range on these, so we'll see. I've got a range finder. Let's see just exactly how far we need to go, and hopefully we don't need to go off the map, because that would be very, very annoying. And I'm not sure if it will transceive off the map. Let's see. Right. Here we go. There. Alright. Let's get our rangefinder out. Our claymore is way down there, just in front of the base. So if we aim for that post, that would lead me to suspect it's 100 meters. So the range of your detonating unit is 100 meters. And when you were ready, fire in the hole! There you go. And you saw the shockwave travel around the experimental area a little bit. Once it's used, you have no use for that detonator. It can't be used again. Specific to that claymore. Our claymore is gone. Gone yellow damage. These were all green. Oh, this one's looking tremendously damaged. That was from one claymore. Right. Let's try another one. Claymore is being directional. We don't have to panic too much, but ready? Fire and hold. There we go. That really made a mess. Kind of got this a little bit. The barbed wire is still in good condition. I wonder if the barbed wire is acting as somewhat of a foil to the blast. The upper metal wall. That. So, metal walls, a little bit more resilient. You see there. 2 claymores have brought down the wooden walls. And we need to have a look at how many more would need to bring down this. Shall we try one more claymore and see how we get on? Let's give it a try. Right, one more time. badly damaged. I reckon one more will do it. And just for your information, I'm setting these at about 5 meters distance, so take that into account. Right, we have another one here, but just want to look at this first. You see the barbed wire is still in good condition. So the barbed wire doesn't seem to be impacted at all. So even though we've lost the wood at the bottom here, we've retained both metals. The gate itself is actually behind another object, so it's not taking damage at the minute, but it probably will the next one. The frame itself has taken some damage. This is good. Upper frame has taken damage. The lower frame has also taken a bit of damage, I think obviously being connected. And we haven't lost the top barbed wire. So just so you're aware of that. And one more. Right. Well, we've lost these two, which are the closer of them. So because this was a little bit of a distance, these were closer. This, which was at the 5 meters, has withstood it a little bit better. But we've obviously lost this. The barbed wire has coiled up. It's in good condition. The barbed wire has coiled up. We'll close the gate. But as you can see, just through. So if we were trying to get through this wall, we'd put our explosives right up close and personal, of course, and that would give us that. So there you go. That is the claymore, sort of in a nutshell. I need to repair this because there's just one more thing about the claymore that I want to show you. Right, so now what I want to have a look at is we want to look at disarming these suckers. So here is an active claymore. You can see it's got a little red light on it. I have the arming and detonation unit here in my hands. Now, given that it is mine and this is the remote detonator, I can disarm it with this unit. So if it's mine, I can disarm it using R2 on the unit. And there we have the claymore, and it is still usable. So I can pick it up, move it around, etc., put it down. So we're going to put it back down again. So there you go. Reinstall it back in its little place, facing away from us. Right, now let's assume I do not have that device and I go, ooh, claymore, someone's up to something here and there's a claymore here for some purpose. So maybe it's this guy over there. What do we do? Can we do anything with it? Well, we can with a knife, a lockpick, or a screwdriver. You have the opportunity to disarm. I got another knife. It says gives us the option to disarm. And the lockpick gives us the option to disarm. So let's disarm it. Takes a bit of time. There you go, but it's ruined. See? Take, it's gone red. So when it's yours, if you, and here it is, this is how it appears in your inventory. It doesn't appear as a bag anymore, it appears as this kind of object here. So that is now ruined. So once you disarm it, it is now ruined. So that was the lockpick, which took a little bit of time. So we'll have a look at doing that again, but we'll do it with the screwdriver, see if that's any quicker. Okay, now we'll try and disarm it with the screwdriver, see if it's any quicker. Doesn't look to be noticeably quicker to me, I'd have to say. And it also has a tendency to blow up. Good job that I'm wearing a plate vest and the large assault helmet. And a good job that I'm actually standing behind it. So let's see what mess it makes of me. Oh, that gave me a sore head. But I've got a sore head, but I'm alive. But I'm only alive because I'm wearing my bomb disposal gear. So Just watch out for that when you're using screwdrivers. Um, let's give it a minute and let's try the knife, shall we?
PlayStation